Good evening, everyone. I'm about to head to bed here pretty soon, but I had to make this video real quick because I'm in shock. I mean, I probably shouldn't be, but I'm in shock because sometimes it's just unbelievable how galactically stupid people can be, especially those in the highest level of gooberment, because that's what it is, gooberment. You know, where I don't know if it's stupidity and arrogance or it's more if it's definitely stupidity. There's no doubt about that. But I think a lot of it has to do with arrogance too. If people don't know what I'm talking about, there has been a massive security breach. I mean, I didn't even realize how bad it was until I listened to and just shared the video from Florida Maquis on it, who I have a lot of respect for, regarding his intel and information because of his background and as an army intelligence and as an interrogator and so forth. Uh, I don't agree with every single thing the guy says, just like anybody, but for the most part, he's pretty spot on and he hits on the subjects that other people don't want to talk about. And, he really goes deep. He delves very, very deep. And this is huge. These idiots, I don't know how else you want to say it. Idiots. Unbelievably stupid people in the highest level of our government. The ones with the titles in the cabinet and so forth, the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of State, the Vice President, you know, these very, very important people, the highest level of positions, the National Security Advisor. These morons talk about top secret information regarding war plans to a journalist. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. They do it in a chat group. They invite a journalist in on the Signal app. I guess thinking this is secure and nobody's going to know, nobody's going to hear anything, nobody's going to know about it. Unbelievable. I mean, the lowest E1 in any branch of service, 18-year-old would probably be smarter than this to know that you just simply don't talk about certain things. If you're in the government or the military, you simply don't. It's called operational security. And you loose lips sink ships. And sometimes you just shut the heck up. But when you're arrogant and when you're stupid and when you think that you're above the law kind of thing, or that maybe you're overqualified or underqualified for the position you've been given, and maybe you did get it like Florida Maquis stated, because you used to be a Fox News host or whatever, or you greased some palms along the way, or maybe somebody owed somebody a favor or whatever it is. But here's the problem with all of this. It puts people in unnecessary danger. It puts our troops in unnecessary danger. It puts our young people, your sons, your daughters, your grandsons, your granddaughters, your brothers, your sisters, your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, your friends. It puts them in danger. You don't talk about certain things, especially when you have the highest level security clearances. I mean, I had a security clearance for a while. It wasn't top secret, but I had a security clearance. And with my security clearance, even though I didn't know too much, I knew well enough just because I was afraid of getting busted. I was afraid of getting called in the carpet. I was afraid of losing rank. And not to mention the unbelievable humiliation and embarrassment of getting, called on the carpet, going to captain's mast, losing rank, losing your position, your authority, anything that you've worked for, the humiliation your family would suffer, your parents, your wife, your children, your family would suffer the humiliation because you're so galactically stupid that you release secret information to civilians, to people who have no business knowing it. It's unreal. This is what people wanted. Whether their vote counted, didn't count, whatever, this is what they wanted. They wanted Saul. You got Saul. People say, oh, it's not fair to blame him. Really? Sure about that? See, I don't know how you spin this. Because, see, if the buck stops here kind of thing, and, if you want all of the credit for everything that's being done, then you got to accept the responsibility too, right? So when things blow up in your face, then you can't just ignore it and pretend like it didn't happen. How do you spin this? How do you explain this? I'm not even sure Biden was this stupid. People say, oh, yeah, he was, and so much worse. Okay. I said I'm not sure. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. I don't know. But I mean, these idiots make Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber look like geniuses. I mean, it is unreal how unbelievably stupid these people are. And the worst part is they're going to get away with it. You watch. Nobody, they'll get a slap on the wrist, and all the apologetic morons will come out and do nothing but make excuses. And they'll spin it this way, and they'll spin it that way. And, the MAGA idiots, I mean, I'm not going to hold back, whatever. People delete, unsubscribe, whatever. The MAGA idiots, okay? They will come out in droves, and somehow they will find a way to make an excuse and call this 1800 D chess or whatever it is, and making their little god to look like he's some kind of superhero, and this regime to make it look like that they can do no wrong, and all these nationalists, these Christian nationalists, and all of these people that continually do nothing but make excuses where you, me, and any other regular Joe Schmo, they would bust our doors down, take us away in handcuffs, and probably send us to Gitmo in the middle of the night. We would be absolutely excoriated. We would not get away with this in any way, shape, or form. I mean, people get away with a whole lot less or more or whatever. But I'm in shock over this. I didn't know. I just didn't expect that, especially people who did serve in the military and have been in combat and, have been on the front lines. You got to be smarter than this. You got to know better than this. So I guess it's arrogance more than anything. I guess it's arrogance. But stupidity is definitely at the highest level here. I mean, but but everything inside of me tells me it's more arrogance. Like, we can do what we want, when we want, how we want, and there are no consequences. Because since the beginning of this year or the inauguration time frame, that's pretty much what's been going on. I don't like this, executive order. I want to change this, executive order. I don't agree with this, executive order. Let's just, circumvent this, circumvent that, pretend that doesn't exist, pretend that doesn't exist. We're going to change everything with Doge and this and that. We're going to ruin people's lives, ruin people's careers, get rid of this, get rid of that, trim the fat, whatever else. And people say, oh, yeah, that's a great thing. That's wonderful. Da, da, da. Not thinking about the innocent people that it's affecting. Yes, is there a lot of fraud and corruption? Newsflash, always has been, always will be. It's America. We've been founded on, let's just say, corrupt principles in a lot of different ways from very corrupt people. If people don't know what I'm talking about, do your research, do your homework, find out a little bit more about our founding rather than what's in the history books or what they teach in school. And you'll understand what I'm talking about, okay? We were founded basically on corruption since 1776, okay? I mean, so I guess we shouldn't really be all that surprised with the fraud, the waste, the abuse, and everything. Say, oh yeah, we're cleaning this up and cleaning that up, but at what cost? How many innocent people? How many people losing their livelihoods, losing their careers, losing everything? And then it's like all these cuts and everything. Do you really think you're going to get anything? You're going to get a check? Sure, might get a stimulus check if they lock us down again, like they did before. Pay everybody off, keep them fat and happy, just shut up and take your money, that you will have to pay back, by the way, okay? Nothing's for free, all right? But unreal. Just, they don't care who they hurt. And all of these tariffs and all this garbage, all of this stuff that's being implemented, it hurts regular, everyday, hard-working people and families. It is the American people that are being victimized. And that's the God's honest truth. Those are the facts, Jack. It's the American people that are being victimized. It's the American people that are the ones that are suffering from all of the tariffs, as well as other people. And nobody cares because they've drank the Kool-Aid to the point now where their little God can do, their little tin God, their Saul, can do no wrong, and neither can all of the people that he's put under him, which are mostly, a lot of them, bimbos from the female side of things, and total and complete idiots from the male side of things. I mean, the beautiful people. That's what it is. Tell me I'm wrong. Look at the cabinet or look at the people that have been put into certain positions, whether they're qualified or not. They're the beautiful people, right? Not an ugly one in the bunch, Don't take my word for it. Look at it yourself. Look at who these people are. And look who gets put in certain positions. And what's so hypocritical is, we're getting rid of DEI, DEI, DEI. Well, you basically use DEI, or he has basically used DEI to fill his cabinet. Because these people aren't qualified, a lot of them. But they're the beautiful people. So if they were overweight or didn't look as physically attractive, whether for the male or the female side, they wouldn't be in the cabinet, now would they? They wouldn't. Or, to be fair, if they're not one of the beautiful people, there's somebody that somebody owes something to, like Linda McMahon, for instance. Yeah, right. Okay? Give me a break, or Paula White, who's the spiritual advisor. I use that term loosely, not only once, but twice, the beautiful people, or the ones, you owe their husband, or you owe their family, or whatever else. Everybody making backroom deals, greasing each other's palms. I mean, come on. And so what do we get from it? Idiots releasing classified information. And I find it very intriguing that it's like, oh, the Epstein files, the JFK files, this file, that file, all distractions. All distractions, right? So they release these files, which is garbage. Okay, it doesn't really tell us anything you didn't know to begin with. All you got to do is watch JFK, the Oliver Stone movie from 1991, and you pretty much know everything you need to know about the JFK files. Okay, I mean, give me a break. You don't. It's unreal. And then they, oh yeah, this is great. This is great. They're releasing this. They're so transparent, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, listening to this garbage, it's like, really? I mean, it's like, just give the dog another bone, right? And it's just like, oh, you know, are you happy? Are you happy? You need another doggy treat? You need another biscuit? It's like, okay, throw the American people another bone. Let's open this file. Let's open that file. Let's give them something else. Let them chase their tail, and people buy into it every single time. They buy into it. And oh, isn't it so wonderful? They're being so transparent. Wake up. Nobody's being transparent. They're distractions. They're to keep you away from what's truly important. That's what they're doing. It's a show. It's a circus. It is the greatest show on earth. It's a movie, man. We're living in the Truman Show. Or you name it, whatever movie, television show, series, whatever that's been put out there by Helly Weird for however long, this is what we're living in. The Matrix, whatever people want to call it. This is what we're living in, right? And people eat it up with a spoon, day in and day out, and the false prophets are just having a heyday with all the fools out there, and the false teachers with all of these gullible, naive Christians, and some people may very well be followers of Jesus, just don't know any better, but they also have less than zero discernment on these things, so they don't have a clue about anything. And so they'll follow whatever leader, so-called leader, will lead them down the primrose path to hell. And those are the facts. Whether people want to hear it, don't hear it, like it, don't like it, these are the facts. This is what is happening. And now, with all of the talk, the hubris, the arrogance, the ridiculousness, everything that they've been, bragging about and everything, what happens? It blows up in your face. A massive, massive, massive leak that could really, honestly, it could wind up hurting or killing people in the long run. That's what could happen. That's what does happen when classified information gets leaked that should not be out to the general public. People get hurt. Innocent people get hurt. But will anyone care? Does anyone care? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. Because they'll come up with some way to excuse this. And meanwhile, they'll just release some other thing, some other document, some other file, some other trade secret, something from the Library of Congress, something from the Presidential Book of Secrets, something, anything to keep people just chasing their tail and going after this or going after that and being distracted by it all. And in the meanwhile, while the people are being distracted, like Wag the Dog, like if anybody's ever seen that movie, let's just, you got a scandal here, you got an issue here, we got a problem here, we need to keep the people distracted, things aren't going too well for us, approval ratings dropping or whatever, let's start a war. Yeah, doesn't matter if it's real, doesn't matter if it's not real, let's just start a war. Let's do something. Let's put something else out there to keep the people distracted and keep them looking in another direction, in the direction a direction that we want them to look in, rather than a direction that they need to be looking in or should be looking in. That's what they do. And that's what they're going to continue to do because it works. It works. And like I said, it's the word arrogance just keeps coming up to me. I mean, because when you're arrogant like this, you'll make stupid mistakes. You'll do stupid stuff. You'll say stupid stuff because you're not thinking clearly because you're arrogant. You're a narcissist. You don't think that it doesn't apply to you. The rules don't apply to you. You can say what you want, do what you want, to whoever you want, however you want. Release information on whatever platform. Invite journalists in, into chat groups. It's unbelievable. The things that are supposed to be the highest kept classified secrets to save lives and to make sure that operational security is maintained. These idiots might as well have been in a coffee shop or, at a Starbucks, talking as loud as they wanted to, where anybody and everybody could have came by. Heck, they could have stopped their conversation and signed autographs. And anybody and everybody could have just been listening in on the conversation. Not even eavesdropping. They're just overhearing classified information. That's how stupid these people are. Because if you're going to do it on a chat group, on a Signal app or whatever, you might as well just gone to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or something and sat there at the table with your idiotic friends and, and just released all the classified information where everybody could hear it. That's how stupid these people are. Now, I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to hold back because this can cost people their lives. Your family, like I said, I don't know how else to say it. I wasn't planning on saying anything, making a video. People contacted me about this and that. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? I don't know. I don't know, okay? I just live my life every day best I can, do what I got to do kind of thing. I just try to keep, just keep a low profile or whatnot. But when it's something like this, it makes me mad. It makes me mad because of my background, because of how I was raised, because of the family I was raised in, because of my service, because I know what it's like to be deployed and to be in harm's way and to be in combat and to be in these situations away from your family. And the last thing you need is some government idiot putting your life in danger because they got a big mouth and they're an arrogant fool. We're supposed to, our members of the military are supposed to be able to trust their leadership. They can't because they're stupid, because their leadership are morons. There's no other way to say it. They just are galactically stupid. And so our young service members can't trust their leadership. I hope they can trust their sergeants, platoon sergeants, platoon commanders, hopefully battalion commanders. I don't know. I hope. At the very least, their fire team or squad leaders. I would hope. But maybe not. I don't know. It could be broken to the point now where there's just no leadership that's trustworthy. And then we're going to have our young people, if they aren't out there already, they are going to want our young people to go and fight these banker wars for these idiots that could care less whether your family members come home in one piece or not. It should make you mad. It should. If it doesn't, I don't know. But it should. It should bother you. Because it could eventually wind up being your grandson, granddaughter, son, daughter, whatever. It could. They're doing it in other countries. Look it up. Research it for yourself. They're doing conscription. They're talking about drafts. We get too far over our head, get into too many wars, have these situations that we can't control. They're going to want your sons and your daughters, your grandsons, your granddaughters. And are people going to send their kids and grandkids to these banker wars with this idiotic leadership in charge? I'm going to go ahead and shut this thing down now, but I think I've gone on far too long for it. But I just had to express it because when there is no leadership, or when the leadership is poor, the people suffer. I know I'm butchering that. I think it's in Proverbs, and I'm not exactly sure where. But, when there's a lack of righteousness in the land, a lack of leadership in the land, or poor leadership, corrupt leadership, whatever else, the people suffer. But when you have good leadership, when you have, non-corrupt leadership, leadership that is looking out for other people rather than their own selfish interests, then the people rejoice. Why? Because they have leadership that they can trust. They have leadership that they believe is anointed and appointed by God. So they'll trust that. But I think it's being shown and proven now that the leadership we have, two sides of the same coin, man. Untrustworthy, no difference than before. People say, oh yeah, there's tons of difference. Look at this and look at that. Peel all those layers back of the onion, there's no difference. Two sides of the same coin. There's no difference. And now it's coming out. How you spin this, other than just lying through your teeth, I have no idea. The only thing you can do is fire people and hold them accountable. And maybe they should even do jail time for this. Is that going to happen? Doubtful. They'll come up with some excuse, some lie, and the people will buy it because they always do. They'll blame anything and everybody and everything and everybody except they will not hold themselves accountable or responsible. There will be no personal accountability or individual responsibility. And I hope I'm wrong about that. I hope people are held accountable. I hope they do lose their jobs. I hope they do get fired. I hope they maybe even, like I said, they're always talking about military tribunals and this and that. And it's just like, well, yeah, okay, for sure, absolutely. There needs to be some accountability here. There needs to be arrest in this type of situation, because you can't be trusted. So at the very least, they shouldn't have a job. But is there precedent for legal action to be taken? Absolutely. Is any of that going to happen? I highly doubt it. I hope I'm wrong, but I highly doubt it. No, I don't know how you spin this. Just lie. Like they always do. Just lie and insult everyone's intelligence. Because I don't see how you spin this. It's going to be very interesting. Maybe enough people ignore it, pretend like it didn't happen, whatever else. And a lot of American people are pretty dumb. They really are. Especially right now, with all the distractions out there in March and all this stuff. I mean, they may not pay attention. They may not care. They may think it's no big deal. But I know who does care. Military members. military families, people who have served, people who continue to serve, people who have been in the, I'm not going to say the word, but we'll just say been in the environment, okay? The combat environment, all right? The theater of war. They care. They care. So, anyway, that's it. I've gone on long enough. Y'all have a good evening. Take care. God bless. And thanks for hanging out. Maybe I'll talk to you again sometime. All right. Bye-bye.